So from a technical standpoint, what we want to make sure we do is not widen this gap too early, not lean back trying to lift the ball. And again, a lot of people will say to me they're trying to sweep their fairway woods. Don't have that as your concept. That idea is really bad. So how to avoid disastrous golf shots with your fairway metals. It's probably the club I see most duffed from any level of golfer in the bag. So let's put right how you should play the shot. Is it an iron swing? Is it a wood swing? What you need to do to be really successful consistently forever with fairway metals, whatever number fairway metal you're hitting. So the big thing I always get asked every lesson, when people get out of fairway wood, they say to me, tell me, is it an iron swing or a driver swing? And I say to them, well, we have one swing. We stand differently to every shot, which creates some natural occurrences that make the swing slightly different. But essentially with a fairway wood, we are hitting down on the ball, whereas with a driver, we're hitting up on the ball. So it's more like an iron than it would be a driver, but obviously it's a longer club. There's less loft on it, so that makes it more like a driver in terms of how the swing will look. It's certainly going to be a flatter plane, but you're not trying to create a flatter plane. It's because you stood further away from the golf ball. The lie angle of the club is lower, that we create a slightly more rounded arc without trying. So conceptually is a biggie. We have to try and feel that we're almost going to try and hit down and take a divot and get our low point to be after the golf ball. That's kind of message number one. From a set point of view, the ball position wants to be in the front segment of the stance towards the lead heel, but not off the left heel. So I would kind of go half a golf ball back from lead heel would be pretty good. The stance would be normal width, shoulder width, and your weight would be even. Then from there, make your normal kind of iron swing, but obviously with this distance away from the golf ball. And that one there absolutely ripped. And ideally what we're looking for is a bruising in the turf, right? You don't have to take big chunky divots, but again, there's nothing wrong with taking big divots with a 3-wood or a 5-wood or a 7-wood. You'll see a lot of tour pros will hit it like I hit that one, where there's a bruising, and that was struck really, really well. And others will take quite a nice meaty divot, and both are absolutely fine. The stats would say we're hitting 3 degrees down on the golf ball with a 3-wood. And we hit 4 degrees down on the ball with a 6-iron, for example. So our low point is going to be after the golf ball, slightly less than the 6-iron, but the ball position slightly more forward. Where we put our sternum and our head positions should still be in the center of the stance, so they're slightly further back relative to the ball than they would be with a 6-iron or a 7-iron or whatever it would be. But it'd be very similar to like you play a 3-iron. So we're definitely looking for that kind of ball and turf contact. Let's go through some things that can make that happen. So from a technical standpoint, what we want to make sure we do is not widen this gap too early, not lean back trying to lift the ball. And again, a lot of people will say to me they're trying to sweep their fairway woods. Don't have that as your concept. That idea is really bad. I'd want you to feel that this lead shoulder and leg move laterally towards target. Then they're going to widen. So there is a widening, but just don't let it happen too early. If you're a massive over-the-topper, then widening early will help shallow the club, but you will find your low point will go further back. So it kind of helps one part of your swing and hurts one part of your swing. We definitely want to feel that we can create that kind of pressure shift, that lead side movement forward, and try and feel like we're throwing the club, at target rather than at the golf ball. That's definitely the conceptual idea we would want. So if I just try and feel, okay, make a real effort here to transfer my weight. And that one there was probably better than the first one. Absolutely mushed that. So just being really aware of moving that weight is a great start point. Let's look at what we can do on the golf course for this. So on the golf course, I would just try and make a really good routine. That would be the key thing. So if the golf ball's there, I'd be setting it alongside the golf ball. I'd make probably a 1/2 to 3/4 backswing. And then really try and land that club after the golf ball. So a bit like almost like an Alex Noren exaggeration. We're trying to land the club up here. And I'm trying to take some grass from me. Just bruise that grass every single time. Then when I'm setting up to the golf ball, I'm trying to feel, okay, yeah, ball position slightly up in the stance. And really try and feel, okay, Let's throw that club towards target, not the ball. And again, those three there, all slightly different in direction. That one was slightly pushed. But all three strikes with that 3-wood, I can't fault. It was the best 3-3-woods I probably ever hit. And all I'm really focusing on there is that conceptual idea of transferring my weight and throwing that club towards the target and having that routine process that will allow me to feel where I want the club to go. And again, I'm making sure I'm not there trying to lift the ball off the ground. Don't try and lift the ball. I'd rather you dig it than lift it if you're going to have one way or the other. But if you're digging it, make sure we're turning nicely so then we don't get too steep or over the top, and that creates directional issues. So stop fearing the fairway woods, stop sweeping them, and start transferring your pressure and throw the club towards target to be successful.